Sweat 60 Sports Roundtable, baby.
Roundtable, let's get it.
So, now you've started the Sweat 60 Sports program. What are like 3 things you feel like athletes should do to improve?
Yeah, so I mean, first off, like always coming into a gym, like you have to get stronger. I think Sweat 60 Sports, I believe Sweat 60 Sports is the best way to do that. Come in, we're gonna take care of your speed, we're gonna take care of your strength. If I'm talking like things outside of the gym to focus on, number 1 is getting sleep. I mean, we could go through so many different studies and research of like, the more sleep you get, that 7 to 8 hours, how pivotal it is and how the brain works, how the body functions. Other 2 big things right there is like getting protein in. I don't think most kids, especially the athletes I see every week, they eat enough protein. So it doesn't show off like their bodies just takes longer to recover from games, from practices. They're not able to build it up as quicker. The third thing I would say too is like not always being in a competitive environment. Yes, competitive environment, but not playing competitive sport from one season to the next season, just all year round, going from like the same sport specifically. If the more different sports and different approaches we can get of having some of the time coming into the gym specifically, playing basketball, playing football, playing soccer, like learning up, especially as we age, I've seen great success with that. How about you? Maybe 3 things that you would, you think athletes should do, or things that you wish you did when you were playing collegiate sports?
Yeah, so I think for me, just having a clear plan of like what I want and where I want to go. I know it's hard when you're younger to know exactly what you want to do, but like if you're super into soccer, working with someone like us at Sweat 60 Sports to being like, hey, like one of my big goals is to play D1 soccer. So these are like the things that you could do to get to that level. These are the things you need to do. So I think that's a big one. Just taking my nutrition and my recovery a little more serious. So I think, when you're younger, obviously it's easy to get away with a lot of stuff. But, as you get into the college space or even competitive high school club sports, that's just going to set you above and beyond everyone else. So I think that's something I kind of wish that I would have focused on.
At the college level, everyone, it's funny because talking with high school athletes about this stuff, the college level, that's the expectation. And so trying to teach high schoolers now, that's one of the most important things I think we do at Sweat 60 Sports of like, in college, you have a practice every day, you have a lift every day, you have meals you have to hit, you still have to go to school and all that, but so being able to teach kids that at the high school age is just so important, because if you're gonna compete at that level, those stresses are all real and they're multiplied.
Yeah, so I agree with all those, and I think those are, a little bit of sport-specific training, taking care of my nutrition and recovery, and having a clear plan is things I think are really important.
Very cool. No, that's great. So with that, I mean, let's go into why we started Sweat 60 Sports. Like this is, you have a gym in Santa Monica already. It's doing well. Like I know the answer. I know it's a little bit more of a passion, something that you've always been a part of. Like what made you really jump in and get this going?
Yeah, so I think just kind of, being around a lot of the former players I played with, their kids are starting to grow up, seeing some of the kids I've trained that have come into Sweat 60 and realizing like there's a real need for that, especially in this area. There's a lot of people that really want to get to the next level. There's a lot of people that think that they're doing the right things, but then when they're coming in, we're seeing their training, we're realizing that they're not doing the right things. And so I think that was one of the big reasons why I felt like it is important to start Sweat 60 Sports, is so that we can train athletes in a way that they're going to get stronger, and get faster, and they're also going to stay injury free.
Yeah, they're going to get better with that.
Yeah.
No, that's huge. I feel the same way. Like, it's cool to be able to start this because like we both love sports. We talk about it every day. But one thing I've seen is that the kids, the people that get the best coaches are the ones that need coaches the least, right? Pro athletes, they don't necessarily, they have so much room in the experience in the weight room, on the field and court, that they're going to be great no matter what.
Yeah.
But now we've been going to soccer team practices and like, hey kids, we're going to go skip. And these kids are skipping all over the place and can't even get a skip pattern down. the basics of athletic movement, the basics of strength movement, being able to teach those at a high level, it really does change a kid's like projection. You know, if you can get those skipping patterns down at 13, like 18, get ready for those college scholarships.
And I also think too, if you learn these things now, once you get to college, like for example, one of our clients is a college hockey player. And so she came in here, she learned a bunch of the skills from us. And when she was a freshman back east playing college hockey, she was far and above her other teammates.
The strength coach even said, be a leader.
Yeah.
Right. You do you and show everyone else.
And if you don't have to waste the energy on that, because you already know how to do the stuff, then you can put your energy into actually playing.
Mental energy. And the mental energy is like what drains you the most as well.
Yeah. So I guess that's a good segue into what are some of the things that you see like kids getting injured from?
That's a great question. And like we can't prevent all injuries, but we can mitigate like the probability of a lot of these. Because like, if you and I are sprinting together and we both click our knees in, that you can be prepared for something like that, but you can't, like, our goal in that case is to lessen how long it takes us to recover and how much damage gets done. But there are injuries that we can prevent from overuse, especially. And that's one thing I've seen the most of is athletes that come in and they play basketball all year round. Athletes that come in, they play soccer all year round, and they're great soccer athletes, great soccer players, but they might not necessarily have that base of athleticism that will protect them. When you look at it, especially with overuse stuff, you're doing the same repetitive motion over and over and over. Imagine like kicking 1,000 soccer balls where we're digging into that hip, and all of a sudden that hip's starting to weaken and tire, not having the strength and that background of things to do in here that make the system stronger and so that you can perform at a higher level.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and that like if you're going to be going to school, then going to track practice, and then after track practice, you're going to soccer. I understand that that's something that is common, and if you want to do that, that's fine, but then you really have to make it a priority to come in here and learn the right ways to take care of your body. And because otherwise you will get injured. And that's a very common overuse injury for that kind of, I would say, 13 to 18 range.
Very common.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, so here's going back on this, like, what we're saying is that there's things you can do in the weight room that help prevent overuse injuries. Let's maybe dig into some of them, because it's not just like meathead, get strong, like more weight, where your back's rounding and through. I know, like, yes, form is very important with overuse injuries, movement patterns, single leg, you want to go into some of that?
Yeah, so I think being able to be strong in all planes of direction, so moving forward, moving in reverse, moving laterally, and moving diagonally is going to help really prevent injury.
Especially when sport is not played front and back. Like most weight room programs are squats, deadlifts, and they're all front and back exercises. And sport, no matter the sport, you're playing in 4D. You're playing forward, side, diagonal. I love that one.
Yeah, and so that's, I would say, number one. Number two is learning mobility, learning how to foam roll, learning how to stretch on your own, learning proper ways to either maybe take an ice bath, do meditation, massage, those types of things are going to
call it being a pro, right?
Yeah.
If we can teach kids at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, not necessarily what the pros are doing, but that mentality of I take care of my body because this helps me in what I want to accomplish. It's just being a pro, and I think that's huge.
Yeah, I agree.
I would even go in like one more is like the importance of single leg training with those. Because when you look at all sports, whether we're jumping in basketball, we're sprinting, we're chasing a ball down, you're never on both feet. Like most weight room, like that is one tool we use for max strength expression, but being able to get strong and stable on one leg opens up your hips, opens up your spine for the things that you do athletically on the field.
Yeah, I agree. So like a good example would be a proper warm up, mobility, core strength, so big lifts, and then your power, your explosion, and then your single leg, and moving in all different directions. So if you put that all together, that's going to create a really strong athlete in addition to an athlete that doesn't get injured.
You know, that's huge, and that's important because especially with athletes, as we're training and you're sore from your training, you're getting hurt from your training, that means you're not on the field playing games. Nothing's worse than when you're playing like, hey coach, I can't practice tonight because my back hurts.
Yeah.
No, I think being healthy is the best expression for athletes.
Yep.
Maybe let's just tap in real quick. We talked a lot about the physical, about a lot about the preparation. Maybe can you go into a little bit more of the mental that was needed to play in college, to perform
Yeah, and I think once you get to the Division I level or the pro level, even any college, to be honest, everyone's a good athlete. A lot of people have strength coaches. A lot of people have gone to gyms like Sweat 60 Sports. So you're at a level where everyone's good at their sport, everyone's strong, everyone can move in all different directions. You know, you got a ton of explosive athletes, but what really sets the athlete apart is the mindset. And it's like, can you show up and perform for every game? Are you eating the proper foods? Are you recovering properly? And those types of things fall into the mindset. You know, are you prepared? Are you disciplined? Are you mentally preparing and visualizing the game that you have coming up? And I think those are some things that additionally we like to teach at Sweat 60 Sports.
No, I agree with you. And you said one word there, discipline. And I break it down to all our athletes. We have a cool little secret handshake, and I'm not gonna put the handshake on camera right now because it wouldn't be a secret then. But you know, the handshake does stand for something. There's 3 Ds, and that we use when we're with our athletes in here. All right, it starts with discipline. It's can you do the stuff? Can you be disciplined and show up each and every day? Discipline, then dedication, right? Can you do it day in and day out? Can you do it the right way, and then can you do it day in and day out? And the third one is you have to want it from within. And that's what the whole handshake stands for, the 3, dedication, discipline, desire. Because when you combine those 3, it takes some time to figure out what the right things to be disciplined with are, the small details. But as an athlete pulls that together throughout high school, they have a great a jump pad to launch into college, pros, or whatever's next.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to why it is important to join something like Sweat 60 Sports, because we are developing a similar environment to the elite clubs or the collegiate level. So you're just going to be more prepared when you get to that level.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've coached with them,
and we've played it.
Yeah, we've done it.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions on Sweat 60 Sports, we have our YouTube channel, we have our Facebook, we have our TikTok. Come check it out, Sweat 60 Sports. Come in here, you can check out the website as well. We'd love to help you out, get that strategy session in place so we can figure out where you are right now, where you want to go, and then we can get to work and help you be a pro.
Love it.